Today we'll be taking a look at Watch Dogs 2 on the Potato Masher Pro. In case you don't know, the Potato Masher Pro is a side series to the main Potato Masher where I take a GTX 1060 and toss it in the Potato Masher to compare it against the PS4 Pro. The goal is not to pick on the PS4 Pro, but to show you what type of experience you can have with a budget PC. Links are in the description if you want more information, and let's get to it. If you haven't seen the regular Potato Masher take on the PS4 yet, I highly suggest watching that video. It'll fill in more information that I probably won't cover twice. The PS4 Pro renders at 1800p and checkerboards that to 4K or super samples down to 1080p, which is what the Potato Masher Pro videos focus on. Both the Masher Pro and PS4 Pro look quite a bit cleaner and better than their older counterparts, but Watch Dogs 2 is still not an amazing looking game in my opinion. Since the PS4 Pro offers a super sampled image at 1080p, I didn't bother testing the Masher Pro at 1080p. Instead, I first tried a custom blend of settings that were essentially maxed out except for the notoriously demanding San Francisco fog setting, and I'm calling it very high, and you can see all that here. The Masher Pro is capable of a very stable 30 FPS at this resolution and settings. Compared to the Masher Pro is clean, sharp, the shadows are better, the textures are much better, and the system isn't even pushing itself that hard. If you're super sampling to 1080p, I think 1620p, which is what I'm using here, is the sweet spot for the Masher Pro. However, the PS4 Pro is rendering 1800p, so we want to at least try to match that for comparison's sake. At 1870p, the Masher Pro looks essentially identical to 1620p, at least for this game, but I'm going to use this for the comparisons to better match the PS4 Pro, and all other visual settings are identical to the 1620p settings I just showed you. The Potato Masher Pro has a significant amount of GPU headroom over the PS4 Pro. That only makes a significant difference if games are optimized well enough to let us take advantage of it. Watch Dogs 2 isn't incredibly well optimized, but it does have a lot of visual settings that we can tweak, so that gives you the option of nicer visuals compared to any console if you have enough power. In this case, we do. The single biggest improvement the Masher Pro offers is shadows. They're sharper, they're more defined, and there's no evidence of resolution scaling like you see on the PS4 Pro. It seems like a subtle thing, but I found myself noticing the shadow shimmering a lot on the PS4 and PS4 Pro, much less on the Masher, and pretty much never on the Masher Pro. The Masher Pro also has much better ambient occlusion, but that's almost always the case, so that's probably not a surprise. Despite the extra GPU horsepower over the standard PS4, the PS4 Pro version of Watch Dogs 2 doesn't appear to upgrade the base PS4 version's missing reflections, poor shadows, or ambient occlusion. Aside from the resolution bump and better textures, there aren't that many upgrades with the PS4 Pro version. Granted, the resolution bump is great, but I would have liked to see the developers push the PS4 Pro version a little farther, especially given the robust options menu the developers provided on the PC version. Lastly, you might notice that the PS4 Pro looks very sharp in some scenes. Like the PS4 version, the PS4 Pro version of the game has heavy post-process sharpening. I'm using 10% sharpening on the Masher Pro, but I don't think it looks good turned up farther than that. While still scenes might look nice, there's more aliasing shimmer and a slightly more artificial look to scenes. Some games have great post-process sharpening, but Watch Dogs 2 is just okay, and in my opinion both PlayStation versions use too much of the filter. Of course that can be very subjective, so look at the comparisons and make your own determination. And of course if you do prefer that, you can always just turn the sharpening up on the PC version because it's an option. So better visuals, slightly higher resolution, and more flexibility. Those are some nice upgrades for the Masher Pro, but what about 60 FPS? Unfortunately, the Masher Pro really struggles at 60 FPS in this game. Even dropping the resolution to 1080p, CPU usage and GPU usage spike so often that the game can't run at a stable frame rate. Even though CPU usage is sometimes low enough that it doesn't appear to be the problem, I believe it is the main culprit. This may be a situation like Black Ops 3 where the heavy CPU spikes get ironed out after a few months and the Masher Pro's i5-750 is actually fast enough for 60 FPS once the game is patched. However, right now, the Masher Pro is not capable of any stable frame rate anywhere close to 60 FPS. Also disappointing is native 4K. The Masher Pro can run the game at 4K, high settings, and 30 FPS, but there are still some GPU and CPU spikes that make the frame rate dip. The CPU doesn't appear to be as much of an issue here, but it probably is part of the reason. There may also be some memory bandwidth limitations or something else at work, or heck, maybe the game just isn't well optimized at any settings better than the console versions. Whatever the case, Watch Dogs 2 looks pretty good at 4K, but it doesn't run well and I don't recommend this resolution with this hardware. So, no 60 FPS, no native 4K. Not great, huh? Well, that depends on what you prefer. If you're looking for better visuals and performance than a console, with more flexibility and customization, then the Master Pro does great. If you want a minimum of 60 FPS in every game and you only believe in native resolutions, well then the Master Pro falls short like it has in plenty of other games. For all the times where it does amazingly well and surprises us all, it's still a relatively budget machine at the end of the day, and it does have limitations, just like the regular Masher. Given the game isn't well known for being optimized, I think the Master Pro does well, but I'm not impressed. Same goes for the PS4 Pro. It's an upgrade over the PS4, but it's nothing incredible. Go watch the Potato Masher take on Watch Dogs 2 if you haven't seen that video yet. If you enjoyed this video, consider supporting this channel and the Potato Masher project by tossing me a few bucks on Patreon or hitting the like button. I know I haven't been making videos that much lately. I'm working on improving that. Thank you for sticking with me here while I get some work stuff ironed out. Thank you for your support, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.